Okay, let's have a bit of fun for all you Twinkle fans. It is Twinkle time of year. Some people have already got blooms open. Many have got spikes with buds on and are not holding their breath waiting for them to open. Tediously slow to open the buds on Twinkles. From the point you first see the spike to the buds opening is a long time. Anyway, parent number one. Cheerophorum, I think that's pronounced, or Cheerophorum, probably, yeah, Cheerophorum, Oncidium obviously. That's parent number one. Over here we've got Oncidium sotoanum, parent number two, and this poor plant has been misnamed for nearly 200 years, and the previous name that's bandied around and still used by nurseries, despite the fact the knowledge is out there now. But it was first described as a black and white drawing, and everybody assumed that a certain yellow plant was what was being described, when in actual fact it was this one. And this is a recent discovery that it was actually describing this one, which was pink, and a totally separate plant. So this one had to have a new name. Which is sotoanum, but we know what it is. It's the other parent. Right, so that's two parents. Now we're going to have the bit of fun. Now I'm going to include this one. This is not a Twinkle, but it's a sotoanum cross. And we've got spikes on here. Yeah. You probably, this is Oncidium Tahitian Dancer. Is it an Oncidium? Actual name? No, it's an Aliciara. That might not even have sotoanum in it, but I'm going to include it anyway because it has similar types of blooms. So that's the size of the buds. You won't probably know what size the blooms are supposed to be, but that's the spike that's most advanced if you compare it with this one. So that's plant number one, and then we'll come along here, and that's Tiny Twinkle. You can see the size of the spikes and the buds, but as Twinkles go, the blooms on this one are very small, hence the name Tiny Twinkle. That is its actual name, as well as it's a smaller twinkle plant than most others, and it has smaller blooms. So that's plant number two. And then this monster here is Red Fantasy, hiding behind this. Now obviously I wouldn't want anybody to try and count the buds on there, and I'm certainly not going to do it. But those are normal twinkle-sized blooms when they open. Yeah, so that will be plant number three. And then coming along here, there's a tiny, there's a small twinkle there, a small piece that broke off. Now obviously the spike on there is in its infancy, but nonetheless it's in the game. So where did we get to? 1, 2, 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, that'll be plant number 4. How can you lose track that soon? This one down here, I'm not doing the names on them because a lot of these twinkles didn't get tags, therefore I don't know which one they are until they open. So I'm actually waiting for these to open to find out which colour they are, and therefore in a lot of cases which name. So we got to 4, so that's plant number 5. Now these are quite well advanced. Now this one's got quite a few blasted buds on it, well, some. The best spike is the one up the back there. So where do we get to? 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 then. This is another small piece. This will be plant number 6. The spike is incredibly new, and buds aren't even formed on there, so don't hold your breath. And then this one here has just got the smaller spikes. I lost count again. This is silly. And I've just done it again. Oh, my brain just won't work today. It needs sleep, basically, that's the problem. So we have 1, 2, 3. Concentrate. 4, 5, 6. So this is 7, and it's the last one, thank goodness. The spikes on here are quite well advanced, but they don't have many blooms per spike. Maybe a good reason for that. That one I believe has got a name, but I'm not getting it down. We've got numbers for them. So yeah, just a little game. Which one of those 7 plants do you think is going to have the first open bloom? And if you want to be clever, the second one, the third one, etc. So yeah, it's just twinkle time. It's that time of year. Quite a few people have got theirs open already, and mine will be soon. I'm pretty confident I know which one will be physically open first and hotly followed by the second one. And I can probably predict the last one as well. It'll be Christmas by the time that one comes out. Anyway, as I say, just a bit of fun. And I thought we ought to have a proper look at the bulbophyllum. This hasn't bloomed for some considerable time. Now, these... There's a proper name for these because to me this is a bloom, one. Yeah, but it's not. It's a set. But to me it forms one actual bloom. But the actual length of these, if you look from top to bottom, are actually quite long. I'd say that was 8 inches, maybe 9. So the tails are incredibly long. But the main business end is up here. Beautiful patterning on this one, Elizabeth Ann Bucklebury. And then this is a weaker spike. It's only actually got 3 individual elements on it. And this one has got 4. And sometimes they don't sort themselves out and come out like one on top of the other. I think I've just managed to straighten that one now so that they come out in a nice uniform pattern. And they form like a hand, like that. So, but yeah, we haven't seen the blooms on that for some considerable time. It needed more light, basically, and having given it some, it certainly had enough new growths on it. But so we've got some blooms on that at long last. And yeah, that'll do for today. But I'm pleased that this opened nicely and didn't form any, didn't suffer in any way, because obviously it changed from its nursery environment to my environment, and quite honestly they're not that different really. Knowing Sarah's private area, temperature range, light levels, all that sort of stuff, they are similar. Yeah, so I didn't expect it to go into shock or anything and dump all its buds. But that's the time when you get serious bud blast, is a major change of environment, which can include, going from a very high humid atmosphere to an almost dry atmosphere. That'll do it. Normally the buds blast, not the blooms, but you can get a bloom dump as well, where it just drops the flipping lot, especially change of temperature combined with humidity. That'll dump blooms, or at least shorten their life quite dramatically if they don't just drop. But yeah, it's any major change of environment really. I mean, I've known people that have actually lost their buds on a phalaenopsis bringing it home from the shop because they decided to stop for lunch and leave the plants in the car and the sun came out. It doesn't take much, not in a car environment anyway. Who's got in a car in the sunshine and sat on the seat and leapt in the air and banged their head on the roof because the seat was so hot? Do you think that's a good place to sit a plant? No. So but changes of environment, going from a nice warm cosy environment to somewhere that's quite chilly. The other way round, you get a lot of not nurseries necessarily, but things like garden centres and stuff. Their nighttime temperatures where they keep their indoor plants could be quite low because there's no people there to need to heat it up for, so they could be quite low. And then you bring it home to your cosy warm environment. That'll do it. As I say, change of humidity, dry to high humidity can dump blooms, and vice versa, very humid to dry. Also, major change in light can be involved, but it's the one that seems the least likely. It's normally temperature and humidity, especially in combination. So I'm not getting involved with any orchids now, not until the spring. the weather is too unpredictable in the UK as far as I'm concerned. We're having a mild spell at the moment, but it ends today. Tomorrow morning there'll be a frost. We'll be down below zero. It can change like that on a day, almost on a day-by-day basis. So I'm certainly not paying for stuff that's going to freeze its whatnots off, trying to get to me. So anyway, I got a Zoom meeting at 3 o'clock, Orchid Society, just a general meeting. And then I've got a really good one this evening, the Ridlington School Orchid Project. The guy who runs that, Simon Pugh Jones, is doing a Zoom talk for us while looking round the greenhouses. And I think there's going to be some chat from some of the pupils as well about their conservation work in, I can't remember whether it's in Africa or in the Philippines area. Anyway, so we've got that, and then that's followed by Bournemouth Orchid Society Zoom meeting as well. So effectively I've got 3 Zoom meetings today, and then nothing for ages, as usual. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I've waffled on long enough. And thanks for dropping by and all that. And if you haven't subscribed, it might be nice if you do so. It all helps. It all helps the channel run along and grow in stature and all that sort of stuff. So see you next time.